Oh man, I love the way this thing looks. You don't know how long it took me to actually finally make one of these. I mean, I went through so many resources. I tried clay, it would always crack. I would try to mix the plaster, put it on there, and it just wouldn't come out right. It would always mess up. And I just decided one day, like, you know what? Screw it. I'm about to make it with foam, which you see here, and epoxy to get that plasticky look and feel and sound. So far, I'm loving it. So much more to come. So much more to come. Hello, I'm Crow. No. I'm Crow. And I have a very deep interest in any kind of blades, swords, and am in fact working on a few of my own styles with a few different types of weapons, which I will feature here. Despite my appearance, even without the mask, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a contractor in any way. But I do put off that vibe. And the shoe fits. I wear it. I kind of like the way it feels, you know. It's just the way my heart beats. And that's what I do. So, I'm not used to being on camera. I've never liked being on camera. That goes back to how my heart beats. I've never liked it. Never been a fan of it. What I do intend to do though, one of my sweet, sweet joys, my sweet, sweet butter cookie, is playing airsoft. So I like combat simulation. So one of the things I do is I imagine different scenarios, play them out, and work on different movements and maneuvers and all this. And then I go and I play airsoft and then I test them out. And sometimes, uh, and this goes to the people who I have caught, I catch people with knives. So, well, toy knives, of course, and I actually make them as well. Let me see. These are the more serious ones. Okay, so this is made of foam, no epoxy or anything like that, but it has a realistic feel and look to it, as does this one. These aren't my best ones, but I made them so that they don't leave stains. So I noticed, so I'm into crafts. So, I mean, obviously. So, my other one, which I actually use for personal practice, these are supposed to be products, but I'm not good at making myself popular. I'm not a camera guy. I'm not someone who even seeks popularity, so it's very difficult for me to even really trying to find the ones I practiced with just yesterday. They're not out here. But either way, it doesn't matter. So, here's one. This is one that I will definitely be practicing with for you guys, showing you some stuff, as well as this piece of shit here. And I say that gladly because it is a bit of a piece of shit. It could be useful. It sounds beautiful. It makes pretty good sounds, but this is a piece of doo doo. But it works, so I'm definitely going to be, showing a little bit of moves. Also, I want to clear up some confusion. Another of my priorities, another one of my practices is how would you call it? Well, what you guys like to call it, and you are very confused about it. You call it raising your vibration. I hear a lot of people talking about raising their vibrations. I heard a girl not that long ago talk about, she was asked, how do you raise your vibration? And she said that she drinks water. And I'm like, what? For any of you who have either read or listened to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, if you caught the point where he talks about raising the staff and vibrating intensely and then they all bowed, yada yada. Vibrating is something that initially requires a conscious effort. It requires a conscious effort because if you don't maintain it, then it just fizzles out. Although, as you do it, it will basically condition your energy centers and condition your body to be able to store more energy, use more energy, or access more energy. I notice a lot of people talk about energy these days, but they don't really know what they're talking about. Like even when you hear about empaths, we have to clear up a lot of things about what empathy is and what sympathy is, because for some reason it's like people think that because someone told them how they feel and then they take on those feelings that suddenly they are empathic, when sympathy is spoken or shown or shared. Empathy is not spoken, it's unspoken, it is simply sensed. No one has to come and bring you their emotions, they are just in the atmosphere, they are around you. You feel them based on a look, a movement, like body language, stuff like this, or even like subtle things like let's just leave it there for now because they are subtle things. You have to actually know how to deal with energy before you even can talk about what energy is. And this goes doubly, triply, quadruply for those who talk about positive energy and negative energy. You people are just on a bandwagon. You're the same people from before who had no notion of these things and suddenly were, I guess you could say, gifted, or the paradigm had a somewhat, not even a change, but more like an injection of different rhetoric, and you've jumped on it, and it gets you popularity. And there's a lot of people who create motivational videos when they're talking about things like chosen ones, and they're talking about positivity and negativity and all sort of stuff, and they're making they're just making money off of you people. So here's an example of how I know that that's true. What is positivity, right? Let's just use math. Positive, negative, right? When you add above zero, you're in the positive. When you take away below zero, when you subtract towards zero, it's negative, right? The root word of negative is to negate. That means to resist or to deflect or to reject. Which means that for those of you who are presented with problems and you reject that person, that claim, that idea, you're using negativity in order to protect yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that, really. But you have the wrong notion when you believe that people are supposed to just, or you're working with the wrong, you're operating from false information when you're basically just twisting it so that, oh, well, anybody who's going through things, it's their fault, and I don't want to hear it because it's messing with my empathy. You're not empathic. You are not empathic. If you were empathic, you would be like, fuck, the world feels insane right now. How can I change it for the better so that I don't have to keep feeling other people's stress? I'm just saying, like, if you were truly empathic, that's how it would be. So those who are proponents, those who advocate the concept of positive and negative, and rejection of those who they call negative, which could be anybody, including them, in anyone's eyes, is just like, what are you gonna do? Like, what you're doing is using negativity to your advantage. Positive people, on the other hand, for example, when you hear a problem, you think of solutions. You think of what to add to the situation, what to add to the equation to make it better. This is what you do. So when you hear a good idea, for example, and I've spoken to many people who claim to be positive, they were just doing it for pussy. But people who claim to only want to hear positive things, only want to talk about positive things, when you talk about good ideas, what they'll do is they'll go, well, that's not possible because they're not going to do it. Who else is going to do it with you? No one cares about that. Oh, well, yeah, it will be possible, but it makes me think about problems. Or I don't care about that. Roadblocks. They put up roadblocks. Now, don't get me wrong. If you could put up a roadblock, but because you know that there's something in the way, but you want to go like, oh, but what about this? And then ping pong the idea to build up to a viable solution. Now you're actually being positive. You're taking into account that which is, I would say, negative to your cause, and you're using negativity to delete those things and positivity to add back to the solution. So right now, as it was before the 2000s hit, when the New Age pacification of humanity came into play through these concepts, you were the same. You were the same people. It's just that now you have a different lexicon. You have a different set of words. So, does that clarify for everybody before I go into anything else? Oh, right, energy. There's more than just positive and negative energy. How dare you simplify everything to positive and negative? Would you think that anger is in a spectrum of negative, period? Did you know that you can use the various emotions, including depression, in order to reach altered states of consciousness? You people, you lack magic, and then you come and you make these channels where you're talking as if you have the say-so on what magic is and how to use it, and then what you do is you minimize power. You find ways to deflect people away from that which could actually lead them to power if they had the correct mindset to achieve it. As an example, and this is what modern psychology does as well. What I'm going to tell you now is going to make me sound very psychotic, but I don't give a shit because I've learned many things from it. At a very young age, I had extremely vivid dreams of fighting and dying and journeying into different realities, meeting different beings. And in my waking life, I heard voices and I would see patterns and walls, and they would move and they would speak to me. And they would teach me things about how to harness my emotions. I used to fight a lot as a kid. One of the things they taught me was to take into account my emotions, not just delete them, not just suppress them, but rather to remember the energetic feeling, what it felt like inside when those emotions came up, and then how to replicate them without going into anger, but to feel that charge that came with it. And I took that, and this is actually the beginning of Qigong. If you can harness this energy, if you know how to already, and those who practice Qigong, then you already know that this is the basis of Qigong, energy movement, because you can transfer those down and through your limbs. It happens already, but when you can control it, you can increase its intensity. And use it for many different things. I use it for many. I love frisbee. I love frisbee. I like. I mean, I love throwing things. I love throwing knives as well, but and screwdrivers and nails sometimes. And I mean, I could throw a football pretty well too, but and a baseball and anything really. But frisbee, man, let me tell you, there's so much magic to it. They had a kid show, and I like to watch kid shows because they give away actual magical secrets. That, of course, when people grow up, they're indoctrinated into this world, they're indoctrinated into modern psychology, and then those things become irrelevant or fictitious to their minds. But there's a show called Dragon Prince, The Dragon Prince, and there's this guy, there's this kid who's trying to understand how to use wind magic. And at some point, he actually taps into dark magic, but that sends him into a coma, or it sends him into a state where he ends up learning about the origins of magic and how to tap into the different elements. And then he had an epiphany where he said, with the wind magic, I am the sail. So the wind is pushing him as opposed to him pushing wind. He's catching the wind. So sailing, it was another show. I forgot what it was, but it was it wasn't a kid's show. When they were talking about how sailing is magic, you're understanding the flows of the wind. So when I go to throw frisbee, I can feel the wind. I can damn near see the gaps in the wind, so that like when you throw a frisbee a certain way, you can get it to jump, or you can get it to float, or you can get it to rock back slowly like this, or you can get it to curve. You can get it to curve and straighten. You can um this. So I came up with this one throw, just practicing, just trying something, where I threw the frisbee upward this way, and it touched the top of a tree and bounced off. Things like this, or to throw it accurately. And I was inspired actually by the story of the Chakri, or the story of the chakram, where is it Krishna or Vishnu? I'm not sure which one, but he's being abused by his adopted older brother, and he's about to kill him. He's about to take vengeance upon him. And the mother's like, no, please don't kill him. And he's like, okay, fine, I won't kill him now. But if he abuses me 100 times, then I will take his head in an instant. So, of course, the brother hears about this. Those who consider themselves chosen ones, pay attention to this, because Christianity has pacified you, pacified you. So the brother hears about it. He's like, really, motherfucker? You think you're gonna do it? You talk a big game, all right. He abused him over and over and over and over. Then the 99th time came. What do you think happened next? He abused him again. Boom! Instantly. With this legendary weapon that is a part of the Sikh story of the chakram, the wheel, the chakra, the wheel. He threw it and instantly removed his head. That's also the origin of Nrsimbadeva. Supposedly Nrsimbadeva is the chakra, which is why you'll see in different fantasy things, you'll see a cat character who throws discs. Apex Legends. Seer. He's the cat guy. What's that? Paladins. A sibling of mine likes that game. It's crap. But there's a character called Tigran. He's a master of swords and a master of the disc. This goes back to Mahes. This goes back to into Mikhail. This goes into basically any solar character who has the sun disc and has anything to do with lions or vengeance. So, but I love throwing frisbee, but I don't have anybody to help me practice, because I could throw it by myself just to make sure my forms are right. And actually, here's the thing. This is the connection. This is the magical connection. This is a part of how to raise your vibration, because just like how you can remember emotions, you can visualize and feel movements. Smart people. Those in the know. You can replicate those movements without doing the movements, without actual physical movement. And you will feel it. The same way you feel a charge of anger at the moment where you lose it and you're about to attack somebody for fucking with you for too damn long. You can feel that charge. You can feel that burn inside, and you can manipulate it. And when I throw the frisbee, I can still feel it as it's going out to whoever or wherever that I threw it to. The same with the knife. And knife throwing is cathartic, because when you can feel it, you can feel the knife travel in the air up to its point. And when the point sticks into the target, that dunk, you can. Oh! It's joy, man. It's just like, and this is magic. Pay attention to cats. Cats understand perception, which is the actual operative word for stealth. They understand perception. What is perception? What you can see. How you see. That's the angle that you see from. How you define what it is that you see. Like Drax did in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, how long have you been there? Oh, I've been here the whole time. I was just invisible because I was moving extremely slowly. Not quickly. Very, very, very slowly. It's like something being in one spot for a very long time. You just get used to it being there. You take it for granted. And then all of a sudden, it's gone. And you don't even realize that it's gone. In your mind, you have a mental image that it's still there and it's gone. But cats are amazing because they are, if you've ever noticed, like you've been walking down the street or something like that, and you see a cat and it sees you see it and it's like, huh, And when you look away, just play around with it. Just look away and watch it go like, he's not looking. And they disappear. they know when they're seen, and they don't like to be seen. But when you can see them, they're like, "What the fuck is this guy?" When you can perceive them in the environment, better yet, when you can creep up on them, which anybody who actually knows me knows that that's something else that I that I would actually do. Creep up on them and rub between their ears like this, and they will go, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck are you?" And they scamper the fuck up. Like, what the fuck, man? This is crazy. Um. So, well, it's also what you hear, not just what you see, it's what you hear as well. You know. So, it's the most some of just illusionists' greatest ally is misdirection. Greatest tool is misdirection. But I also recognized at a young age, because I would actually experiment with my meditation because I was practicing astral projection and trying to see how far I could get with it. And I was in a toxic home, toxic people who didn't understand these things at all, and just made me seem more like a freak, which I'm fine with being different, but I mean, obviously. But depression. Anybody ever notice how depression lowers your temperature? If you want to learn how to do or to contact the dead or to speak or have the dead speak through you, you have to get close to death. And depression is very, very, very close to death. It's almost as close as sleep. I say it's more close to life, but not depression, but sleep. You get very, very cold if you explore it. You fall into it. That's why they always show the priestesses. They always go into that flow state where they're like, you know. That is tapping into death. You can get to the point where, and that's another thing I was trying to get into, cryomancy as well. And I'm also pyromancy at the same time. And I actually, one thing that I managed to do was bifurcate. I managed to make one side hotter and one side colder on my body, and I actually showed somebody, you know. So another thing I also showed was I could play in the snow with no gloves, and I wouldn't dress for warmth or anything like that. My hands would be on fire. Like after a while playing in the snow, my body just flips in the complete opposite direction, and I get really, really, really hot. So there's that, and just you people don't know, and you're missing out, and you're misleading people about what energy is. You are mundane, and you need to stay within the realm of the mundane, and you stop misleading people into your belief systems. Stop it. Because what you're doing, as always, is making it harder for those who truly possess access or have access to magic to practice it unhindered, without being bothered, without the confusion of what it is you think is socially acceptable. So, can anyone else can anyone else feel people in their environment? Like if somebody gets too close, can you feel that buzz? When people are moving around you, ugh. Ugh. Talk about under the skin. You want to talk about empathy? You want to talk about energy? Shit. You have no idea. I bet you don't even know how to touch somebody from a distance. You have no idea. And the baby is being thrown out with the bathwater. Congratulations. I suppose that's one way to abort. How many of you Christian people think that these horns mean something evil? Abort it. You know? I mean, part of this is, I have never seen a demon, or what you would call a demon, which is another word that's misinterpreted because daemon actually just comes from spirit. And the concept of a daemon is higher self. And if you don't get that, that means that you are not very adept at lucid dreaming, which means that you haven't recognized yet that you are visiting different worlds and you have multiple bodies. Even just astral projecting tells you that you have a different body. When you are in a dream and you're unconscious in that dream, who are you? And then when you become aware, did you just take over that vessel? Did you just possess something? Did you just possess someone? Can you possess yourself? Can you be, if this is a dream, which it is, another dream, your definition of dream is just polluted, just like positive and negative are polluted, just like energy is, the word energy, the idea, the concept of energy is polluted. That's it for a second. And so, what happens? You get a bunch of people running around saying shit that they don't understand and that they haven't experienced. This is a dream. What happens when you awaken? What the fuck does that even mean? Have you even tested the concept of existence? Are you even looking for what the fuck existence is, or are you just believing in a god and saying, I'm just gonna go on bumbling around? It's just like you fucking missing out on all kinds of memories and skills and experiences that are packed within your soul lineage. The depth of you, forward and backward, who you've been, who you are now, who you've become. I'm pointing forward. Bang, bang. I'm pointing this way. But you don't even realize, if you could test the concept of perspective, not even just perception now. Now we're talking about perspective. Now, well, which is also angle. It's an angle of view, a point of view. When people talk about, oh, well, you just have to visualize yourself in the life that you want to live, and then you'll just make the choices that lead to that life, right? What is that? And then if you could, let's say, instantly transfer yourself into a life where you are successful and this and that and the other, do you not think that there's another? Because your soul is infinite. Do you really not think that there's another you, another I, that is seeing, that is maintaining, Vishnu, the maintainer, maintaining that position in that part of the multiverse? Meaning that you simply swap out, or you live in the life that you swap timelines. Something has to be in that position. And in my experience, even this is eternal. Because it's happening now, therefore it'll always happen and always is. Hope you get that. If you don't, get the fuck off my channel. But if you're thinking about it, you're welcome. If you're trying to figure that out, you're welcome. But don't just use logic. See? Another thing people are confused about is, this is a really strange one. What is the opposite of logic? Hmm? I like doing that. What's the opposite of logic? People go like, emotions are the opposite of logic. You are absolutely incorrect. Not correct. You are not correct. In your mind, in your heart, and whatever fuck it is you think is going, you're wrong. The opposite of logic is and always will be intuition. Logic is ABC. Logic is, intuition is somehow knowing that all this shit is going to Z before you even know what the fuck B, C, D, E, F, G is. And the sad thing is, those who have not harnessed both logic and intuition, this is hard to communicate to you with. You think that feelings, not only that, you think that feeling is the equivalent to emotion. And you feel like if you feel more, you think that if you feel more, you think that if you swap out the word feel for think, suddenly you are a more logical person. But the truth is that you just want to feel like others see you as a more logical person. You want to feel revered as a logical person. You want to feel as though you are successfully defining life and existence. It doesn't matter if you truly are. It only matters how you are perceived and how others feel about you. See? So when you have monetary success, you will feel, as a consequence, also successful, seemingly successful relationships and this and that and the other. You will feel successful, right? And it doesn't matter how deficient humanity is. It doesn't matter how much of reality you don't actually understand or whatever. You don't even know what the consequence is of actually trying to perceive this reality for what it is. It's absolute loneliness. You will be separated from everyone unless you know how to play that game where it's like, oh, well, I gotta have love too, so I'm gonna just play dumb around these fucking people, and to myself, I'm gonna say some smart shit. Hopefully, they don't catch me saying something intelligent, because then they might get scared and run away, or something that goes against their religion, which is not theirs. It was something that was given to them, so they don't really have anything of their own. They don't have their own. Well, they don't know that they have their own magic. So if you're Christian, get the fuck out of here, please. Please leave. Please leave. A lot of you who don't think you're Christian, you still believe in the terminology. So emotion and logic. The entire experience of life begins with emotion. Every single choice begins with emotion. And then you think. You feel something, and then you think. But then, let's go even deeper. Thought itself is a feeling. We know this how? Because every single movement is preceded by a thought. But every single feeling and movement and thought is registered and calculated or measured by the same thing. Well, every thought is measured by the same thing that every feeling, every movement is registered through. Electrical impulse. So even your thought, being electrical impulse, is a feeling. It's a sensation. Not even just an emotion, a sensation. I'm doing this. I'm making that guy's face that got famous for just doing like this under here. Can you see it? Do I have to do this? You see, even do you realize that this is what I'm saying is additives, but a lot of people will take it as negativity, and they'll run away and they'll go there, villain, fucking villain. He talked against this, and that makes him bad. He's wearing horns, and that makes him bad. He's wearing a mask, and that makes him bad. He's evil. Trust me. Trust me. I'm not. I can't say the R word, even though at the moment it is correct. People are tarded. Tarded. Do you know what that means? It just means held back from progress, slowed. Do you know what religion means? It means held back or tied or bound from forward progress. Religion and retard are the same word. So that's fucking hilarious. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I hate that I have to live around it, but hey, you know what's funny? I just had this experience recently. I tried to be social with my new neighbors, and I was doing energy work, balancing myself internally, using my form of qigong, my own system, which is within me. And they're like, "Oh, you like summoning a demon or something?" You think those people practice Christianity? You think you have to practice Christianity to be caught up in the paradigm of Christianity? You don't even have to call yourself a Christian. Oh, it's demonic. It got something to do with the devil. Do you know how foolish that is? Meanwhile, you praise a guy who was known as a scapegoat, and I'm not wearing these necessarily to even say that I'm a scapegoat, even though I have lived the experience of a scapegoat. I have been scapegoated all my life, blamed for shit that had nothing to do with me. Put aside from everyone else. Does that make me someone who believes in Christianity? No, because you're not the only ones who have that concept. It's something more going on. There's something more that's happening. And your Christian definitions of it fall short. And I'm sorry, but it's true. It is what it is. Honestly, you can't really. Oh, that's so beautiful. You can't really convince me otherwise. Just the same way as if you're a Christian or any other religious denomination. I probably can't convince you. I mean, well, Hindu people, it seems like they're allowed to think about things. They're allowed to think about their concepts are far more vast than Christianity. You need to pay attention to them. You need to take in what it is that they teach. You need to pay attention to their paintings and their concepts of gods or God, and then trickle down gods, which of course lead back to you, because you are a contained universe made of contained universes, cells. And always point this out to people. Go look up the painting called Vishnu Dreaming. There's a temple I used to go to in Michigan, in Detroit actually. It was Vaishnava temple, and they had the most beautiful version of the painting I've ever seen of Vishnu Dreaming. This is not only the multiverse, but it's also about your cells, and as Mark Keyshawn Christopher brought up, it is the gene within you, the genes that can express everything, because it is all things. But yours is different. A cell is a circle. Oh no, he's putting up Illuminati signs, you fool. They took this from you. They took this from us, and they made you scaredy cat motherfuckers scared of this and this. Ooh, that means. Do you know that this is 9 in sign language? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is it? 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. What's the ninth letter? I, motherfucker. This is not 666. But even if it was 666, what's 6 times 3? 18. What's 1 plus 8? 9. 9. 9, motherfucker. It's like, damn, dude. All you gotta do is take a simple. I could take your whole fucking name, do some fucked up shit with a big group of people, do some fucked up shit, and call it you. And people will be like, oh, that name is evil, motherfucker. Do you see anybody running around named Adolf anymore? In a minute, Karen is about to be obsolete. You fools. It damn near is. And people don't even realize, oh, well, we can't say bitch anymore, and so we need a different word. We need to call them something else. Oh, I know. Let's call them Karen, which means pure, or this is a Karen. A cairn is what you put the ashes of the dead in. It's a urn. It's an urn. That's some funny shit, man. That's some funny shit. You gotta love this reality, you know? Everyone is manipulated by popularity. They showed you this in The Wiz. And I keep bringing that up too. You know, they changed the color. Oh, green. Green is the thing. Oh, it's yellow now. Green is trash. Oh, it's red. Yellow is some bullshit. Like, it's the same. It's the fucking same. Well, either way, I'm going to be showing you how to control your immune system. Yes, through actually raising your real vibration. Well, yeah, two. um, I'm going to show you how these meanings have been convoluted. Well, I think I already kind of did most of it, but for the sake of depth, I'm going to show you actual images to teach you. Hate on me all you want to. I don't give a fuck. And I'm also going to show you blade work. And eventually, if you're with me, if I have enough of a fan base or whatever it is, it's popularity based fucking bullshit. I'm going to get me a GoPro and I'm going to go play airsoft. And you're going to get to see me make these people have nightmares for the rest of their life. I'm joking. No, but seriously. Oh my God, I can't wait to get into a room of players and get me a nice blade dance. Ooh, I'm still waiting. I mean, I've gotten nice kills in airsoft, but I want to get me like 5 in a row until they hit me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you something, and I'm not playing with you motherfuckers either. I'm playing. I'm not gonna hurt you, but I'm hitting you in places that matter. I'm not about to just tap you like, oh, you're out. No, I'm about to get in you. I'm about to get in you. You're gonna feel what the fuck I'm saying to you. While you running around shooting at motherfuckers thinking it's just a game. Like, motherfucker, you supposed to be in this bitch learning. But I'm gonna show you. Now I gotta make new masks as well, because I gotta be able to wear my goggles and shit. I need protection for that game, you know. Which in due time I will. Um I hope that many of you get to see this, who can and will find value in what it is that I have to teach. Thank you.